An informational look at the features and benefits of the SAF CBX40 trailer slider suspension with the Auto PosiLift system. Featuring the SAF CBX40 trailer suspension system with Auto PosiLift and Meritor Wabco ABS with lift axle control. The Auto PosiLift axle feature is best utilized for fleets with varying load operations. This system was first introduced to beverage delivery fleets as a way to increase fuel economy, extend tire life, and save on toll fees. How the Auto PosiLift system works. Auto PosiLift is the combination of our proven PosiLift lift axle feature with a Meritor Wabco ABS with lift axle control. The Meritor Wabco ABS with lift axle control is programmed by the trailer OEM. The OEM enters the correct raise and lower air spring pressure values into the system software during the end of production line testing. The values are saved for future reference. For troubleshooting this system, please refer to the documentation provided by your trailer manufacturer. The Auto PosiLift system is programmed so that the rear axle will never exceed the suspension's rated capacity of 20,000 pounds per axle when the front axle is in the raised position. Let's see how the Auto PosiLift system works in everyday operations. We begin the day with our truck parked and trailer fully loaded, and the front axle is in the down position. The driver starts the vehicle and releases the parking brake. With the power on and the trailer parking brakes released, the pressure sensor in the air system reads the rear axle air spring pressure, and the Meritor Wabco ABS with lift axle control determines to automatically raise the front axle or leave it in the down position. Since the trailer is fully loaded, the front axle will remain in the down position. Throughout the day, we stop to make deliveries. Each time we start the truck and release the parking brake to head to the next location, the Meritor Wabco ABS with lift axle control again reads the rear axle air spring pressure to determine if the front axle should be raised. At this point, we are still above the weight threshold, so the front axle will remain in the down position. After a series of deliveries, our cargo load falls below the 18,000 pound weight threshold. Restart the vehicle and release the parking brake. This time, as the Meritor Wabco ABS with lift axle control reads the rear axle air spring pressure, it determines that the front axle will now be raised automatically. When we make our next stop, the Auto PosiLift system will automatically lower the front axle when the parking brakes are applied. In the opposite scenario, we begin the day with an empty trailer. The driver starts the vehicle and releases the parking brake. With the power on and the trailer parking brakes released, the Meritor Wabco ABS with lift axle control reads the rear axle air spring pressure and determines to automatically raise the front axle or leave it in the down position. As we are empty and below the 18,000 pound weight threshold, the system will automatically raise the front axle. As we make our stops to pick up cargo, the vehicle weight increases. Each time the driver starts the vehicle and releases the parking brake, the Meritor Wabco ABS with lift axle control checks the rear axle air spring pressure to determine if the front axle should be raised. As we are still below the weight threshold, the axle will automatically raise to the up position. Finally, on this stop, we have exceeded the 18,000 pound weight threshold. This time, as the driver starts the vehicle and releases the parking brake, the Meritor Wabco ABS with lift axle control reads the rear axle air spring pressure and indicates that it has exceeded the 18,000 pound weight threshold and keeps the front axle in the down position. We now continue on with our day picking up cargo. In addition, if there is a loss of vehicle power, the Auto PosiLift system will automatically lower the front axle to the down position. Benefits of the Auto PosiLift system include increased fuel mileage, increased tire life with reduced scrub, no driver interaction required, reduction in toll fees, increased suspension life, specifically the air springs and shocks, longer service intervals on axle components such as bearings, brake linings, and drums or rotors. The SAF CBX40 with Auto PosiLift for fleet operations looking to increase fuel economy and extend tire life.